flicker on the screen. It's a late night show. A spaceman lands where a strange wind blows. The black and white feels like home to me. A time machine through the static I see. Driving nights with the stars above. Old tin speakers and a young man's love. Popcorn dreams in a two-tone car. Youth felt endless under every star. Now I'm here with the glow in my eyes. The channel changes, but the feeling survives. The heroes are still young, but I have aged. Yet I still love planets made of paper mache. Driving nights with the stars above. Old tin speakers and a young man's love. Popcorn dreams in a two-tone car. Youth felt endless under every star. The reel keeps spinning, but the years are gone. The spaceman fades, but the dream lives on. Late night TV in a quiet room, but my heart still dances to the same old tune. Ooh. The clock ticks loud as the credits roll, but these memories light up my soul. A middle-aged man with a younger heart. I can't wait for the next flick to start. The clock ticks loud as the credits roll, but these memories light up my soul. A middle-aged man with a younger heart. I can't wait for the next flick to start.
Down at the picture show lot, your shadow hit the screen. A lizard king with laser eyes and foam rub silver sheen. The kids all held their popcorn tight when your roar split the rain. You kissed the sky, then burned the town and made it live again. Up tune. Moth wings over downtown squares, a dark and rubber boots, and all our dinosaur dreams. Giant movie monsters run through my head. Giant movie monsters wait there. Giant movie monsters, sweet and mean. You stole the screen, and you made me scream. Giant movie monsters, stay with me. Giant movie monsters, set me free. He said, so anyway, the thing is that he's 3 stories deep in high school band. You ask him how his weekend went, he's explaining ancient Roman ceiling fans. One sip of coffee, suddenly we're ranking every kind of cheese. We just wanted movie times, now we're somewhere in the 90s on TV. Captain Tangent, off again, started with the weather, now we're talking about space pens. Captain Tangent, spin that thread. We were on the freeway, now we're in his cousin's shed. He goes left, he goes right. He forgets what started this ride. Captain Tangent, that's our friend. Circle to the middle, never finds the end. You say, can you pass the song? He's Lysol, that's wild, 'cause I once knew a guy named Hal. Next thing, it's a road trip tale. Flat tire, first crush, roadside motel. He's drawing diagrams on a napkin just to prove a tiny point. By the time he finally lands, we forgot why we even joined. Captain Tangent, off again. Started with a question, now we're rating every band's best spin. Captain Tangent, spin that thread. We were in the kitchen, now we're somewhere by a surf shed. He goes left, he goes right. He zigzags through his own mind. Captain Tangent, that's our friend. Circle to the middle, never finds the end. But when you're stuck in your same old day, he can talk you miles away. From a text gone wrong to a song to a snack. You forget what hurt, you forget looking back. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Captain Tangent, off again. Started with you, okay, now we're laughing about old trends. Captain Tangent, spin that thread. We were feeling heavy, now we're light as jokes, he said. He goes left, he goes right. Brains like fireworks at night. Captain Tangent, that's our friend. Hope he never, ever finds where the story ends. It feels the land. Hit the open bottle of paint again. Colors flying into the wind. Landed on the model I just did. Why can't I remember the lid? I'm a klutz, that's for sure, but somehow I endure. Build models, build models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure, but somehow I endure. Build models, build models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure, but somehow I endure. Building models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure, but somehow I endure. Building models. Building models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure, but somehow I endure. Building models. Building models. Building models. Building
Flicker on the screen, it's a late night show. A spaceman lands where a strange wind blows. The black and white feels like home to me. A time machine through the static I see. Driving nights with the stars above. Old tin speakers and a young man's love. Popcorn dreams in a two-tone car. Youth felt endless under every star. Now I'm here with the glow in my eyes. The channel changes, but the feeling survives. The heroes are still young, but I have aged. Yet I still love planets made of paper mache. Driving nights with the stars above. Old tin speakers and a young man's love. Popcorn dreams in a two-tone car. Youth felt endless under every star. The reel keeps spinning, but the years are gone. The spaceman fades, but the dream lives on. Late night TV in a quiet room, but my heart still dances to the same old tune. Ooh. The clock ticks loud as the credits roll, but these memories light up my soul. A middle-aged man with a younger heart. I can't wait for the next flick to start. The clock ticks loud as the credits roll, but these memories light up my soul. A middle-aged man with a younger heart. I can't wait for the next flick to start.
Down at the pictures show love. Your shadow hit the screen. A lizard king with laser eyes and foam rub silver sheen. The kids all held their popcorn tight when your roar split the rain. You kissed the sky, then burned the town and made it live again. Oh, we dressed up scared, but we came right back for the big black shape and the bomber jack snap. Oh, the posters ripped, but the thrill stayed loud. You were all our sins in a Saturday crowd. Giant movie monsters run through my head. Giant movie monsters wait for dead. Giant movie monsters, sweet of me. You stole the screen and you made me scream. On the matinee, your claw came slow across a paper moon. The siren sang in two-tone cries like a scratched up tune. Moth wings over downtown squares, a gorilla on the ride. We learned to cheer for every crash through young wide open eyes. Oh, we dressed up scared, but we came right back for the big black shape and the bomber jack snap. Oh, the posters ripped, but the thrill stayed loud. You were all our sins in a Saturday crowd. Giant movie monsters run through my head. Giant movie monsters wait for dead. Giant movie monsters, sweet of me. You stole the screen and you made me scream. In black and white, you never die, you just get bigger. Under the grain, under the ray, you pull the trigger. We were the kids with sticky hands and bug-eyed grins. You were the dark and rubber boots and all our dinosaur dreams. Giant movie monsters run through my head. Giant movie monsters wait for dead. Giant movie monsters, sweet of me. You stole the screen and you made me scream. Giant movie monsters, stay with me. Giant movie monsters, set me free. He said, so anyway, the thing is that he's 3 stories deep in high school band. You ask him how his weekend went, he's explaining ancient Roman ceiling fans. One sip of coffee, suddenly we're ranking every kind of cheese. We just wanted movie time, now we're somewhere in the 90s on TV. Captain Tangent, off again, started with the weather, now we're talking about space pen.
wild. 'Cause I once knew a guy named Hal. Next thing, it's a road trip tale. Flat tire, first crush, roadside motel. He's drawing diagrams on a napkin just to prove a tiny point. By the time he finally lands, we forgot why we even joined. Captain Tangent, off again. Started with a question, now we're rating every band's best spin. Captain Tangent, spin that thread. We were in the kitchen, now we're somewhere by a surf shed. He goes left, he goes right. He zigzags through his own mind. Captain Tangent, that's our friend. Circle to the middle, never finds the end. But when you're stuck in your same old day, he can talk you miles away. From a text gone wrong to a song to a snack. You forget what hurt, you forget looking back. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Captain Tangent, off again. Started with you, okay, now we're laughing about old trends. Captain Tangent, spin that thread. We were feeling heavy, now we're light as jokes, he said. He goes left, he goes right. Brains like fireworks at night. Captain Tangent, that's our friend. Hope he never, ever finds where the story ends.
It feels in the land. Hit the open bottle of paint again. Colors flying into the wind. Landed on the model I just did. Why can't I remember the lid? Glue had gotten on my thumb, smeared it on the canopy. Ain't that done? I'm a klutz, that's for sure. But somehow I endure. Build models, build models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure. But somehow I endure. Build models, build models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure. But somehow I endure. Building models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure. But somehow I endure. Building models. Building models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure. But somehow I endure. Building models. Building models. Building models. Building
Flicker on the screen, it's a late night show. A spaceman lands where a strange wind blows. The black and white feels like home to me. A time machine through the static I see. Driving nights with the stars above. Old tin speakers and a young man's love. Popcorn dreams in a two-tone car. Youth felt endless under every star. survives. The heroes are still young, but I have aged. Yet I still love planets made of paper mache. Driving nights with the stars above, old tin speakers and a young man's love. Popcorn dreams in a two-tone car. Youth felt endless under every star. The reel keeps spinning, but the years are gone. The spaceman fades, but the dream lives on. Late night TV in a quiet room, but my heart still dances to the same old tune. Ooh. The clock ticks loud as the credits roll, but these memories light up my soul. A middle-aged man with a younger heart. I can't wait for the next flick to start. The clock ticks loud as the credits roll, but these memories light up my soul. A middle-aged man with a younger heart. I can't wait for the next flick to start.
Down at the picture show lot, your shadow hit the screen. A lizard king with laser eyes and foam rubbed silver sheen. The kids all held their popcorn tight when your roar split the rain. You kissed the sky, then burned the town and made it live again. Oh, we dressed up scared, but we came right back for the big black shape and the bomber jack snap. Oh, the posters ripped, but the thrill stayed loud. You were all our sins in a Saturday crowd. Giant movie monsters run through my head. Giant movie monsters wait for dead. Giant movie monsters, sweet and mean. You stole the screen and you made me scream.
Okay, well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. Welcome back, my friends, to the live stream that never ends. First off, can you guys hear us? And let's see how long we got. I'm running about a 20-second lag here, I think. Before we get going, Trey, be careful. It's always on the last day, you know. It was his last day. We've all seen those movies. In fact, Colin's sick. What are they gonna do? Fire you?
Take the plane somewhere else.
So tonight, I thought what we would talk about is, as you may have gathered from the intro, yeah, really, it's scary, isn't it? But
Hey, Fran.
what I thought we'd kick off talk about tonight is if you were going to go write and try to pitch your science fiction to the corporate executives. A lot of times they bring in physical aids and stuff. When Tom Hanks wanted to make the Major Matt Mason movie, he and Spielberg went in with a bucket full of Major Matt Mason toys and dumped them on the table, explained them to the execs, and what shocked everyone is they couldn't get the film greenlit. Think about this. Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg could not get a movie greenlit. And I think part of the reason was the executives knew that this was a pet project of theirs and they didn't see the profit in it. So they said, oh, wow. And they were going to put up their own money. So there you go. Anyway, what models of what real world stuff would you build to take in there to display? So I thought we would go over a few classic movies. I just got some sample pictures and stuff that you might, say. Now, I, of course, invented this, fictitious movie on a whim because I thought I like to watch a YouTube channel, a guy called The Feral Historian, and he always refers to humans as Homo sapiens or HSAPs. And he occasionally goes, why didn't the aliens invade? Because there's 8 billion, feral gun monkeys down here. And I was like, I love that. So I came up with the name Homicidal sapiens. I'm like, they picked the wrong planet to invade. So I'm pitching this movie. So I'm thinking about a lot of the stuff. If you were going to build a diorama, science fiction diorama, of course, you got to have your science fiction stuff, but you're also going to blend it with real world stuff, assuming it's contemporary. So what models would you choose? And, oops, wrong picture. I like that picture, but I'm glad I didn't have the other one up. And all that implies. So let's see here. Where's my, oh, here it goes. Okay. So, okay, let me just get where I can stop this. We'll just stop here, back it up here. Okay. The Chevy stake truck. Now, this, of course, was obviously inspired by that great theatrical release, Earth versus the Flying Saucers, which I still love the fact that they took on intergalactic flying saucers with Ford stake body trucks and ray gun. I mean, that was just, to me, there is something so cool about that. It's almost like rednecks versus aliens. And
no, that was Cowboys versus aliens.
No, I'm saying the movie was like Rednecks versus Aliens. Cowboys versus Aliens was Rednecks versus Aliens. That's not really fair either, but still, I love that movie, by the way, Cowboys versus Aliens. But I would probably, because I actually have a couple of these little Revell trucks, and when I put up my flying saucer stuff, I always put them pulled up next to it like some poor redneck, out there got caught in a cornfield or whatever. I think they go perfectly because you think farm isolation, and we all know how aliens love to probe rednecks. I don't know what it is with that, but anyway. So I would probably build one of these or a couple of these. But if I was going to build a diorama involving aliens, in fact, I did that thing about the kind of the offshoot of War of the Worlds, where everybody went up in the mountains at Exodus, I think I called it. And I used a couple of these because they're just perfect for the end. You notice that this, by the way, you notice this kit does not have a scale on it, even though I think it's 148, but it just has how big the truck is. It doesn't actually have the scale on the box, at least not on front. And that's reboxing. But in Earth versus the Flying Saucers, I think they were actually Ford 1.5 tons, but I looked, the only Ford 1.5 ton model I could find were military vehicles. By the way, guys, it's thunder booming out here, so if the live stream suddenly drops, we got a pretty good idea why.
Did you see what Lance Revell said?
No, I've got a different screen.
There's a YouTube channel where a guy does videos of aliens bemoaning their attempts to invade Earth, especially Florida. It is definitely rednecks versus aliens.
Oh man, send me a link to that. I got to check that one out. Well, habitual line crosser, and I know a lot of you guys watch him, HLC. He loves to rip on Florida, but I'm kind of like, I look at what he does. I'm like, yeah, well,
Florida.
Oh, hell, praise Dale. So I'm like, yeah, it's not unfair.
And we're full of New Yorkers too, besides.
But what was it that Bogart said in Casablanca? When we conquer America, well, there's certain neighborhoods in Brooklyn I'd stay out of. Something like that. Anyway,
I want to do a movie called Florida Man.
Oh God, I do that in a heart. I'll write it for you. I am Florida Man. Actually, in all fairness, I think Trey is more Florida Man than I am. Uh, and by the way, that is a term of endearment and love, not Um, but I was what they call a townie. I grew up in a rural area, but I grew up in town. And even though I'd go out in the rural area, I didn't do all that. Yeah, I mean, I went fishing and hunting and all that stuff, but I grew up with guys who that they did that 5 days a week. I mean, they were right out of Hank Williams, A Country Boy Can't Survive, and but I wasn't a bad. I mean, I could do basic maintenance on an old car, but after the '70s, I just couldn't keep up with the tooling and the technology needed to work on a car. It used to be fairly simple. So I loved having that Jeep. Even I could wrench on it.
KOSC says, my idea is Major Kong riding the H-bomb down to the enemy alien base camp.
Oh, heck yeah. That's out of Doctor Strangelove and to a certain extent out of Dark Star.
No, that was
he was riding what he oh no, he was surfing down to the planet.
Yeah, he was surfing in Dark Star, but
having an existential crisis with one of the bombs that. But I think that this truck is ground zero for any space alien diorama. And it, from the 50s on to now. All right. So that I would definitely have one of those on the table. Now, the next thing would be virtually every movie we've ever seen. Oops. What just happened here? Okay.
Don Lee Cartoon says, how would Godzilla do if he attacked Florida?
He bogged down to his waist.
Oh, I don't know. I think he'd rally every alligator in the state because they're
No. Now hold on. I can tell you exactly what would happen if Godzilla came to Florida. All right, and I mean this almost. I'm almost being serious here.
This is something that's occupied Max's mind while he's flying and has nothing to do.
Well,
better than when he's driving.
Nothing I can't delegate to the first officer.
That's right.
Yeah, you look down at Florida as you're flying over it, and you're thinking, if Godzilla attacked Miami, okay, if he came from the beach, they'd be in trouble. But if he came across the Glades, he's going to hit Okeechobee. He's going to sink down to his waist in a quagmire. He's going to be stuck. Way worse than he was in an iceberg. And Godzilla is going to sit there going, I can't move it. All the alligators are going to swim up and start worshiping.
And he'll get them organized.
No, that's the thing. They don't speak the same language. See, Godzilla doesn't speak Spanish. So there you go. I am in so much trouble right now.
Yes, you are.
It was worth it.
YouTube you'll be getting the email from YouTube any second.
If the alligators could understand Japanese, he'd be in good shape. But
seriously,
man, I really went there, didn't I?
Your mind.
A roar is a roar. It doesn't matter what language it's in.
If I went to Babylon 5 and one of the people from Psycor actually read my mind, he would probably leave a drooling idiot. Don't read his mind. You'll become a moron by infection.
They would definitely have a different opinion of what's going on inside people's heads.
James Claude said, why would the gator speak? Because it's South Florida.
South Florida?
That was a South Florida joke.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, there are 4 places in America it really helps to speak Spanish. South Florida, Texas, California, especially Southern California, and a bunch of the boroughs in New York.
And Taco Bell.
Please, Taco Bell's not Spanish. It's not even Mexican.
Plentiful and available at all local restaurants.
Taco Bell is as Mexican as Pizza Hut is Italian. In fact, what?
I'm sure Monica's appreciating this conversation right now.
I just hope she's not listening because I am. Hey, look, it's just a reality. And Ken, you've lived down in South Florida. You know what I'm talking about. There are areas of South Florida where if you don't speak Spanish, you cannot get by. It's just a reality of the situation. I'm not passing a judgment. Hey, look, they were here first,
And if you're not
Um,
bilingual, you can't get a job in the service industry,
because you can't function. And
except for when you go into stores here. I've run into people who work there that can't speak English.
oh no, that's what I'm getting at. No, that's now
Kuda Killer says if they made nuggets out of Godzilla, they'd be available in all Buc-ee's.
well, that gets the next thing. You see, that gets the other problem. There is the worst King Kong movie ever made was it King Kong Lives? And I mean, that movie was just horrible on every level. In fact, I think it was one of the little parody YouTube channels ripped them a new one, but and it was so easy; it was low hanging fruit. But and ironically, the guy who played Sergeant Taggart in Beverly Hills Cop was the lead army officer, and of course, the military wouldn't help. They wouldn't get anywhere near that ridiculous movie. But a bunch of rednecks go hunting King Kong, and for a while they trap him until they get stupid because the movie was written by an 8-year-old. But now you see, yeah, Bill KLSC is already ahead of where I'm going. Once Godzilla got stuck in the Everglades and everybody got over the shock and awe, and all the alligators set out there worshiping him, they would all be, dormant. The rednecks would figure, wait a minute, he can't turn his head around 180 degrees.
We'll attack him from behind.
And the next thing you know, you're going to have the world's biggest sushi buffet. I do wonder what Godzilla meat would taste like, but anyway, I'm guessing it would taste like alligator. But anyway, yeah, that would be Godzilla's doom because he may be tough, but it's like being attacked by ants. Eventually they're just going to overwhelm you. So now, back to our regularly scheduled program. The next thing is virtually every monster movie, the original Godzilla, the War of the Worlds, they have the 105 millimeter howitzer, usually the M101. Now, I would definitely have a couple of those on the table, and it makes sense they would have it because it is an extremely common field piece used by countless nations. I just realized I don't even know who makes those things. There's a lot of this.
Lance just said the obvious. Wouldn't Godzilla's meat be radioactive?
Do you really think people that grab alligators out of the water with their bare hands are scared of that? They chain smoke unfiltered camels and drink a case of beer a day. Do you think longevity was ever in their business plan?
Well, it'd be warm when they ate it.
That's true. You don't have to cook it. Just throw it on a rock for a cup. Hell, just straight from the animal right on the bun. Self-cooking meat.
Tom Fox says Godzilla meat is self-microwave.
There you see, we're all thinking the same thing. So, and by the way, guys, I'll warn you ahead of time, if you buy one of these field pieces, they are a lot more difficult to build than it seems like. A lot of those little, if you're going to really properly build it, I was just told, harping about this the other day, that these things have got all kinds of itty bitty little parts that are hard to put in place and get the glue down. You've got to pre-paint everything because once they're on there, you're not getting it in there. Paint in there. The tolerances are too tight. Field pieces are surprisingly difficult to paint or to build. They're kind of deceptive and they're really delicate when you're done. I was just reminded of that when I built that German door knocker. And that's one of the reasons I really like tanks. The only thing that sticks out is the barrel, unless you're detailing the interior, it would be convenient. You would glow so much you eat in the dark.
KLSC says Godzilla meat will cure Cajun lung cancer.
And cause every other kind. But so I think the 105 millimeter howitzer, or some sort of field gun, but probably, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, if you watch the original Godzilla, because they actually went out when the Japanese army was training, they got permission to go out and film them. That's why they have real tanks and stuff in some scenes. And you see the barrel, and they had one of those shiny barrels on it. I don't know why, but those 105s you see lowering are actually really being lowered for a field exercise. And that added, because they actually recoil when they fire. Not, I mean, they made models of them they shoot that don't recoil, but when they but I'm like, look, the 105 was the original Godzilla movie. It is the standard field piece of most military. So I'm like, yep, that's got to be on the table.
So Super PLZ says people whose main food group consists of moon pies and Mountain Dew can eat anything, even Godzilla.
They have been conditioned to survive exactly that. You see, he understands. Okay.
John Ashley Smith says, "You had me at tanks."
We're going to get to the tanks. In fact, I think the tanks is the last thing. Now, the next thing, you can't make any kind of monster movie, science fiction type, invasion flick without army trucks and jeeps. Okay? They are, well, today, if it was modern day, it'd be Humvees. But they are a staple. And this all makes sense because a lot of these science fiction movies, like the War of the Worlds and Godzilla, they were all metaphors for aspects of the Cold War. And so, of course, the contemporary military vehicles and military trucks, this is something that doesn't get any love or respect, except for maybe the Red Ball, the Express in Europe during World War II. And Fran, you can chime in on this. Even Eisenhower said the 2.5-ton truck was one of the 5 most important weapon systems or systems that the American military had. I think he said the Liberty ship, the Deuce and a Half, the C-47, and might have been the Sherman tank and the Jeep. But I forget exactly. But he said these things were critical to winning World War II. The importance of trucks cannot be overstated. Remember this, whether it's a sci-fi movie, a war movie, or the real world. When battle breaks out, amateur armchair generals talk strategy, real generals talk logistics. You can't fight if you don't get what you need to the scene of the battle. The Germans had these awesome Tiger tanks, all right, and Panthers and all that other stuff. There was no way they were going to get those things to England, all right, or across the channel. They had trouble getting them distances when they had trains to ride on. The tanks, their tanks couldn't go that far without breaking down. Whereas the humble little Shermans and the these other tanks, the Matildas and the Crusaders, man, they could haul butt for a long way. Yeah, they may not have been that big a deal on the battlefield, but they were on the battlefield. A tank is useless if you can't, or any weapon system is useless if you can't get into the battle. You've got to have trucks and lots of them. In fact, I highly recommend you guys go watch some of the videos out there on the Vietnam War gun trucks. That's an eye-opener. They're basically PT boats on wheels. But the trucks in Vietnam, like every other war, were so frickin' important they became primary ambush targets for the enemy, which showed that the enemy was smart. They knew logistics were the key. So they had to armor plate up a bunch of the trucks and turn them into, land yachts with 50 cals and miniguns. Okay. All right. I want to paint a picture.
Here we go.
We're off on a tangent. I want to paint a picture. All right. I want you guys to envision this. It's Vietnam, 1971. The enemy is hitting our convoys. A company commander tells a bunch of 19-year-old American kids, I need you to up armor and put guns, whatever you can scrape up, on trucks and turn them into wheeled armored fighting vehicles. It is almost comical what they put on these things. They were stealing everything they could. You're talking about a truck with 6 miniguns and dual 50 calibers. I mean, and inside the truck, they had M16s, grease guns, M3 grease guns, and M79 grenade launchers at the ready on hooks with ammo lined up like a Western bandolier for when they got up close and personal. And the battles they got in, these things were Cobras on wheels. And go watch Tactically Acquired. I think the guy who does it, he's hilarious. And he's I think he's an officer in the Army, but he does just watch his one on gun trucks. You're like, this is the stuff they should be making movies about. And if you made the movie the way it happened, people will go, nah, that's over the top. 19-year-olds, unlimited access.
Anderson says, I have the gun truck kit in my stash.
They finally made a kit of. I want you to think about this. 19-year-old Americans with unlimited access to machine guns, grenade launchers, miniguns, the works. The whole
says probably stoned.
No. These guys weren't, because they knew what they were up against. Well, what if they were? Who cares? I don't care if you're on psychedelics, as long as when you open up with 6 miniguns, yeah.
Sounds like Philadelphia and Baltimore.
That's, well, on a Friday. But I'll tell you right now, they actually were so effective that the Vietnamese, because they named their trucks, and it wasn't like an airplane with a little bit of nose art. They put their name in big letters down the side, painted some of them black, with yellow stripes. Basically, come and get me. I dare you to try. Because they were a bunch of cocky American teenagers with machine guns and an attitude. And you see, this is why the military is so good at dealing with delinquents.
Ammo.
The whole floor was covered with cans of 50 cal ammo. They were standing on it. They carried like 13,000 rounds of ammo. They had more ammunition than the squadron B-17s.
Max, was there room for any cargo in this thing?
They weren't all in cargo. They were protecting the trucks that did.
Okay.
They were literal gun buses. And it was dangerous. A lot of them were killed. Because the enemy's hitting with rockets. They were highly vulnerable. Their attitude was, even though they put some armor plate on them, their attitude, dude, in one case, they took the tracks and wheels off an armored personnel carrier and put it in the back of the truck. You can't make this up. God.
In the back of the truck? Or
yeah, they put a de-wheeled APC M113 in the back of the truck. The only way when you strip all that gear and the engine out of it only weighed like 6 tons or something. It's a 5-ton truck. So, they were tearing up suspensions. But you guys have really got to trust me. A couple of hours well spent watching a few of the documentary videos on this. Go watch the one by Tactically Acquired, because he's really funny. But I saw this and I was like, how did Hollywood overlook this? This is a movie begging, and think about and since this video is about trying to get a movie made, I would convert my model truck into a gun truck and put that on the table. Gun trucks versus aliens. The homicidal sapiens. Yeah, but I got it. Okay, I got it.
This is on a roll.
Ken, I haven't seen him this excited ever.
I know, he's really getting worked up about this.
Think about this. The aliens are probing planet Earth for invasion, and they go to 1971 Vietnam, and they wind up duking it out with a couple of gun trucks. They go back to their home planet, the ones that survive, and go, screw this place.
Yeah, let's invade the one place where they're all shooting each other.
It's like Predator. Better, you can do Predator in Vietnam, where he gets his butt kicked.
It's Vietnam.
Which is kind of what the original Predator movie sort of was. Only this time he's not up against a small team with M16s. This time he's up against, oh my God. That movie would make $500 million just on pure testosterone. Predators, aliens, miniguns, 5-ton trucks, 19-year-olds with Ma Deuces, twin mounts, M79s. Up close and personal with the M3,
So were these trucks successful in guarding the convoys?
Relatively, yeah. They scared the living crap out of the enemy to the point that when they hit them hard with a lot of troops that had to be diverted from other things, because they realized as soon as we light up, they're shooting back. And that was one. Now, one of the gun trucks, sadly, and a guy was killed when this happened. The roads were really crappy, and one of them, the road literally gave out from under him, and the truck rolled over about 100-foot ravine, and accidents happen. This is like that movie, The Sorcerer, about the trucks hauling the dynamite.
Meanwhile,
maybe that bump in the butt.
KLSNC wants to know if the bump on the butt has gone to your butt.
Oh, it went right up the spinal column into the top of my head. I can still feel it. I'm still sore from it.
That
Wake
must
up in the
be why
morning.
you're all animated.
Well,
Some
somebody
guys
said you
had
might
the
have.
quad
Some folks,
50 turret from the M16 half tracks.
you know, in a way, you could say that these things are sort of the quasi grandchildren of that, but you have to remember the M16 half track was an anti-aircraft weapon, although they wound up being used mostly for anti-artillery or anti-infantry because they, by the time we got over there with them, we had complete air dominance. That's why the Shermans had a 50 caliber behind the tank commander on that mount, and everybody's like, "This mount's in a weird place." I go, "Not if you're trying to shoot straight up." If you notice, the commander can grab the spade handles, get down inside the turret, and arc the gun up at a high angle. That's what it was intended for. Even and the 50, and Fran, Trey, back me up on this. Okay, Bill, the 50 caliber isn't really intended as an anti. I mean, it could be technically it's not allowed to be used anti-infantry. You have to shoot at equipment, but hey, belt buckles and GI shirts are equipment. But it has a low rate of fire and it's a lot of firepower, and it's kind of a difficult gun to aim. It's really made as an technically it's an automatic cannon. A lot of people say when you hit 50 caliber, you're technically using a cannon, but the 50 cal is really more of an anti-equipment gun. It's overkill for shooting at people. That's what the 30 was for, which has a much higher rate of fire and is, trust me, whether it's an original shooting 30-06 or a later model modified for 308, that is plenty for anti-infantry.
And Brian Tate wants to know, and who would star in this movie?
I've been waiting to say that since he got onto this.
I would cast unknowns, make the trucks and the guns the stars. But
the guns in it, who cares who stars in it?
Yeah, right, exactly. You see that exactly. No one cares. These kids are 19-year-old. There are very few 19-year-old movie stars. Because you have to be in the industry for a while. And,
I know. Timothy Chalamet against the Kardashians.
Okay, I would pay for that as a cage fight. Chalamet. When you asked, I thought about that because even he's really technically too old.
Okay, Francis Farico says
Fran.
50 cal is designated as an area fire weapon, not a precision engagement weapon. Suppression was its greatest use.
Yeah. And many people pointed out that when 50 calibers opened up, everybody ran for cover, and that was their job. Real quick, tangent number 2.
Germans start numbering them.
Only 2?
Well, that I've been keeping track of, but you can't trust my memory. The Germans and the Americans, and I'm going back to World War II, had very different philosophies on machine guns. The American philosophy on machine guns was actually essentially developed during the Spanish-American War at the Battle of San Juan and Kettle Hills. A young lieutenant, a West Pointer, was given command of some Gatling guns, but there was no doctrine on how to use them. But the Spanish up on the hill, because they were sticking their heads up out of the trench, they would be perfectly silhouetted against the sky. And he decided that grazing fire across the top would be the way to do it. And it was surprisingly effective. And one thing they realized is when these old Gatlings going rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, because the Spanish had Maxim guns. So they had belt-fed machine guns. So they were laying down some wicked fire. But when they started going tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat and going across the skyline, and not only were taking out some of the enemy, but they were making them all duck their heads down. While they did that, the infantry moved up the hill. Now, this is my understanding of the battle. I'm sure there are people who know a lot more about it, can correct me on this. But they had to go up the hill, but of course the bullets are arcing over. So the infantry was able to relatively safely move up under the suppressive fire of these Gatling guns. And after the battle, it was analyzed. And one of the things the Army is really good at is post-battle analysis. What lessons can be learned? And they realized that these guns that shoot promiscuously. Okay, guys, what movie is that from? I'll let you put it in the comment section. These guns that shoot promiscuously are really good at making guys duck their heads, even if they're not killing the enemy, so the infantry can advance. And that kind of became American doctrine, which is why you go to in my squad in 1983, we had 2 M60 machine guns per platoon in the weapons squad. And they would set up on their tripods, the gunner and the assistant gunner, and they would shoot at the enemy while we move forward under their protective fire. Okay, suppressive fire. The Germans had a completely different philosophy. First off, I think they had 6 times as many machine guns per company as we did, or 3 times, I think 6 times as many. The Germans used the machine gun like artillery. It was designated an area. And again, I mind we're going back to these, the big heavy Spandaus that were crew-served weapons with 4 or 5 guys serving the gun. And the enemy usually had bolt-action rifles. So, but what they realized is they could set it up as grazing fire, eliminate any infantry that approached, because they were often water-cooled machine guns, at least in the First World War. Second World War, they were air-cooled. But what they could do is use the machine gun as the primary weapon, and the rifle infantry supported it, protected it. The machine gun was the primary gun of the infantry. Now, if you watch some of the German training footage, you will see German machine gun crews will pick up an MG 42 or 34 by the tripod. 2 or 3 of them will grab it, and you watch how quick they do it. They're very drilled in this, okay? They will pick it up by the tripod and move a loaded, ready-to-fire, locked and cocked machine gun forward as a team, okay? Drop it down and immediately go back into shooting while the rifle infantry provides support. It's a completely different philosophy. The MG42, they said, we need a higher rate of fire because the MG34s were prone to jam. They were made like a frickin' Swiss watch, which doesn't do well in combat. So the 42 was a more reliable gun with a higher rate of fire, but it was sort of an area shotgun. It wasn't as accurate, but they had they call it Hitler zipper. There were training films for the American Army. I've seen the things. They're on YouTube about, don't fear this sound. I'm like, dude, when I hear that many bullets come on my way, you better believe I'm going to fear it. Completely different doctrines. After the war.
Who is it? Oh, John Ashley Smith said Spanish with Mausers. The
Yep.
U.S. were issued
Craig or 30-40 Craigs.
And some were issued single-shot trapdoor
Springfields. Those were the Buffalo soldiers. The people forget that the famous Buffalo soldiers were in that battle, and that's why they call Black Jack Pershing Black Jack. He commanded black troops, and he said there were none finer. These are the guys that had settled the West, but they're wearing his blue wool uniforms down in Cuba. Jesus, the Spanish had a lot going for them. They wore light cotton uniforms, big light straw hats. They were set up for the heat. They had the Spanish copy of the Mauser 98K, known as a Spanish Hornet, 7mm Mauser, stout round. The 30-40 Craig was a decent up close round, but at range it wasn't that great. It only had, they call it a 30-40 because it had a 30 caliber bullet with 40 grains of powder behind it. It wasn't nearly as powerful. Didn't have as much recoil. It was maybe a little more handy up close, but yeah, the Spanish had the high ground, and they had some Maxim guns, but weight of numbers, initiative, and the Spanish-American War is all but forgotten in American history. It shouldn't be. There were a lot of lessons in there. That was very influential. 2 wars are very influential in the American military. That was the Civil War, obviously, and the Spanish-American War. When we went into World War I, that was the body of our experience.
Sluggo wants to know, what's Steve and Ken think? I wonder.
Who cares?
We're thinking, how much longer is this going to go on? But
all right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Sorry, guys, they don't call me Captain Tangent you don't call me Captain Tangent for nothing. By God, that's a title I earned, and I wear with pride.
We should get him a T-shirt.
Yeah,
you really should, because I like free stuff. You know what to give me for Christmas now, or for my next birthday, Ken?
we should get him a shirt that says "Pick a Tangent" with little pieces of paper that you can pull off.
I do pick tangents, and then I switch to new ones. Okay, so
I already got your birthday present picked out. It's already sitting here. It showed
did it show up?
Left.
Okay.
He's not talking to me.
No. Okay, hold on. you brought this up, so now I have to go into it, or else they won't know what we're talking about. When I was at Ken's, he said, could you stay for one more day because your gift is supposed to show up tomorrow? But I had commitments here. I couldn't do it. So I came home. So now Ken and I need to get together at some point in the near future, and we can do an exchange. And you can give me my gift, and you can bask in my glory. Man, that did not sound right.
Maybe you
anyway,
should buy him lunch too, Ken.
I'll buy you lunch. And for Ken's birthday, I took him to the boomer shooter range, and we boomer shot with the boomsticks.
Oh, did we ever? We took my 6.5 Creedmoor out. Man, shooting that thing was what I say it was
But we were tack driving with it, man.
yeah.
Of course, the 6.5 Creedmoor with that scope at 100 yards, we're so overscoped. It's like the target's moving around like this because we're so zoomed in on it.
Yeah. But the nice thing about that scope is you can see the bullet holes from 100 yards.
You know, Ken, thanks to that little experience, I'm seriously considering scoping my M1A.
Really?
Well, it's the iron sights are zeroed in for 100 yards. If I can get a scope where I can see the iron sights under it, like I'm ever going to need to use this for anything, but you never know. Those freaking zombies aren't going to kill themselves.
That's right. They're going to show up someday.
You just never know. But it's got me thinking, because I've got a rifle that's got 1,000 or at least a 600 yard capability. I'm shooting at 100 yards with it because of my old eyes and an iron sights. And it's actually not quite as accurate as your Creedmoor because one, the Creedmoor is a bolt gun, and two, there are fewer flatter shooting rounds than the 6.5.
Yeah, I think was it like 2,800 FPS?
Yeah, and it's very close to a 270, which is why 270. I never understood why 270s were so popular until I shot your 6.5 and realized, they're almost the same thing. Okay, now I get it.
Very close. Yeah, 6.5 is 246.246.
Okay.
Marco says we three should do a sleepover for Max's birthday on Ken's boat.
That just is wrong on so many levels. Okay, let's get back to the show.
Tangent too far.
A tangent. Yeah, okay. I got to remember that. I got to steal that. Okay, so we know that our alien sci-fi movies got to have army jeeps and trucks, boats. Steve, what's that stupid sci-fi movie? It conquered the world or something with the worms.
It conquered the world. Yeah.
Okay, and it starts off the guys being picked up in a boat. How many science fiction movies have begun with people on some sort of pleasure craft and something strange happens? Okay.
Oh yeah, the Incredible Shrinking Man, Last Woman on Earth.
So I'm thinking you got to have some pleasure craft models on there to talk about. The movie begins with these people out on the boat, blah, 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 blah. So that's in there. And dear God, we're 36 minutes in and I'm only on my fourth slide.
Yeah. Okay.
What, Steve, you're the aficionado of vintage sci-fi.
Yes.
Which movie do you think, using a pleasure craft like this, was the best intro into a movie, a science fiction movie? Or best plot device?
Probably The Incredible Shrinking Man.
Okay. I thought you were going to go with that. Why don't you describe real quick what happened?
He's out on his boat with his wife, and she goes to get him a drink, and he looks out at the front of the boat, and there's this cloud that's overcoming the boat. And she's still down getting him the drink, and the cloud covers him in the boat, and he gets whatever's in this cloud on him. And then over the course of the next few days, his clothes don't fit. He's shorter than people he was taller than, and whatever was in the cloud has caused him to shrink. And he just keeps shrinking.
You just had to mention she was getting him a drink because I just
All the way
emptied
down
my
to
cough
the
medicine.
molecular level, if I remember correctly.
Now, close to it at the end, that was about where it ended, where it was going.
Okay, Ken, you keep saying the molecular level. You should know it's pronounced molecular.
Then what state are you talking about?
Okay, Jimmy hit one. He goes, the killer shrews.
I was thinking
Okay.
Terror Planet, but they came in by helicopter, or Terror Island, but they came in by helicopter.
Killer shrews, they landed on the island.
There you go. Oh, frogs. I mean, not that it was a great movie, but was Tom Selleck in Frogs?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Well, the Rita was bigger than a pleasure craft. We're going to get to trawlers in a bit. Okay, and before we get to trawlers, let's just say the open part out loud. The best fishing trawler opening is the original Godzilla. Period. End. Full stop.
Yeah.
And I will fight you on that. Okay, so we have a winner on that one. Next.
Paula Adams said something interesting. How about the land? Okay, I'm not going to say this right.
Land washer schlepper.
Schlepper amphibious tractor. That would be great for a science fiction movie.
What he's talking about, the Wasserschlepper, is a German amphibious tracked vehicle. It's an interesting vehicle, and they do make a model of it. First off, Paul always says interesting stuff. He has got a magnificent knowledge of this kind of stuff. That's why he's always able to help his channel so much. In fact, he just put out a thing, was it Moonbase Central, about the Aurora monster scenes, because he finally got his copy of the book, and he's been doing that. And man, oh gosh, I'm sorry, we got to go on this tangent. Forgive me, guys. Steve, you're going to love this. Paul just did a thing about it, and I'd forgotten that Shikes wasn't running the company when this happened. It was Diker. But at Aurora, when they came with the monster scenes, I mean, Nabisco, owned the company, and the moms, they made Laugh In, for God's sakes, for the Fickle Finger Fate Award. Now, there are so many things I'm trying to say at one time. So let me start from the beginning.
Let's do it once at a time.
Okay.
One at a time.
Breathe, Max. Breathe.
Starting to sound like Elon.
Yeah.
The world's first trillionaire.
Yeah.
1.1 trillion thanks to his IPO. Steve, do you want to say it or no?
What about how my son advised me not to do it and wait for the bump? And I
Yeah,
thanked him,
that.
and I thanked him. Thank you, Warren.
We'll leave it at that unless you want to add more.
No, because
you don't want to
here
strangle
with
your
me,
own son.
We'd find a way to spend him into the future right now.
Step into this thing that looks like a shower. We're just going to run a little test.
Got a lot of lights in it. It'll be fun.
Ignore the flashing lights and the rather, nauseated feeling. So anyway, man, if I go I'm on a tangent and I go on another tangent, that's a tangent squared. So that's like 4 tangents, right? Was it Deadpool said? I'm doing a fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 wall breaks. All right. Christ. Well, the good news is you broke the voodoo. I don't even remember what I was going to say.
The tangent lost meaning.
Okay. You know what would be a great kit to have to do a science fiction movie? And a chronoplan.
Chronoplans are science fiction.
Right. But that would be
that
great.
Absolute. Okay.
They're not real.
For my other movie where they find Monica helped me fix a plot hole I was trying to figure out. My Godzilla movie was going to be with Godzilla being found dead and disemboweled on a beach. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
And I was like, what the heck could do that to Godzilla to create tension? But then she came up with the perfect fix. She goes, no.
This is Godzilla?
Yeah. She goes, you wanted to be, no, sort of. I would explain, but there's no time. I sum up. She goes, what they find turns out not to be Godzilla, but an empty Godzilla husk. He sheds his skin like a snake. He's a reptile. Okay. But it was going to start off with, I've got this little XV3 down here, a little early tilt rotor they played with. The Japanese pilots that found it were going to be flying one of the little Hornets, little ramjet tip choppers, because we're going the cool. The very first shot was going to see blue sky and puffy clouds, and here's this loud racket as this ramjet tipped helicopter comes in from on top real fast, kind of like the beginning of Star Wars, only much quicker. And they see it and they report it. And when they get in, the German scientist, they rush him in a Silbervogel, the rocket plane the Germans that Eugene Sanger was toying with, and he flies in an XV-3 and lands. So we're using all the experimental aircraft, assuming they went operational, to give it that wild feel. And but anyway, that's all I'm going to tell you about the beginning on that, because stuff. So what the hell were we talking
Back
about?
up that tangent.
Is there a point?
I have completely lost it, whatever it was. My brain goes into creative mode, and you might as well be talking to a hippie on acid.
We're talking about disemboweled Godzilla.
Well, before that, the thing that got us started on this. But that was just that was going to be the opening of the movie.
We need to start keeping track of his tangents.
Yeah, really.
No, I don't have a calculator with that many buttons.
Okay, then we'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming. Oh yeah. So every
the chronoplan or the
the chronoplan, that was it. Yeah. We could absolutely work on a chronoplan in there. Make it the Tokyo, China, Hong Kong ferry. Anyway, so the next thing is, I was thinking you've got to have a C-47 or a DC-3.
Oh, no. Wait, I got it.
What?
The aliens invade, and they're flying CF-105s.
No, I twist that. They invade, and secret CF-105s take off from secret airfields to intercept them.
Possible. Okay. Well.
Chalk one up for Canada. So anyway, C-47s are a staple because they were a staple airplane of the era. And when I saw this and I looked at what was behind it, the first thing that went through my mind is this supposed to be from the thing?
Rob, it's been a bad time all the time.
Greenberry says, "What the hell are we talking about?"
Man, if we only knew. So this
phrase says, "Greenberry, I have no idea anymore."
We were starting the whole idea. This was supposed to be the models you would bring to a pitch meeting for your science fiction movie. So the C-47 is a staple of science fiction. Everything from This Island Earth, where he gets on the one that flies automatically. And of course, that's what they're flying in The Thing, or The Thing from Outer Space. And when I saw this box art, I was like, that looks like, because it's in the Arctic, that looks like The Thing from Outer Space. There's a circle down there where the spaceship was at, but I think it's actually just supposed to be the runway. But I was thinking that is perfect. Because if you're going to have any good sci-fi movies, got to have a scene in the Arctic with an airplane landing at some remote outpost. That's just, required.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, they even had that Monarch they wound up in the Arctic when one of the kaiju came after them. So, you not only have to have a C-47, you got to have a C-47 set up for Arctic flying. But C-47s and DC-3s have been used in a lot of these movies, but that's because they were one of the primary airplanes of the era, but that means you got to include it. All right.
And Paul Adams says Aurora, Diker, and the Seaway.
Okay.
And Trey says, do not adjust your set. We have
we control the volume. We control the horizontal.
We've entered the tangent zone.
Oh man, that. Thank you, Steve. You just came up with the title for our television show.
Trey.
When we
that's Trey.
Trey gets credit for the title of our television show when we get some idiot network that's dumb enough to give us airtime. The Tangent Zone.
The Tangent
That
Zone.
is freaking perfect.
With the T-shirt wearing Captain Tangent
That you're going to get me for my birthday.
And it doesn't have a time slot because it goes on forever.
It's just one of those 24-hour channels like QVC. That actually isn't an all bad idea. Have a rotating guys that come in 24/7. Be up there, with Pluto, plug it. I would love to be on Pluto doing the intros for all these movies and everything, and giving the factoids and doing the whole Billy Bob Brigg thing. I couldn't believe he was number one on that thing, but Billy Bob Brigg was chosen was the number one
horror movie host.
Yeah, I mean he beat Svengoolie and
Zachary,
Roland,
Elvira,
Elvira,
Vampira.
yeah, Nervy, and oh well,
I got
go
a
figure.
question. I got a question for you guys, especially Steve. He would probably know this. Are there any science fiction movies where both sides of a war were totally automated? There were no people actually doing the fighting on either side?
No,
Probably, but it's kind of a taste of Armageddon and Star Trek was kind of
well,
like that.
you could kind of stretch it and say that Colossus was that way.
Yeah, you could also war games.
Yeah.
But well, Womps was an American thing though. But
No, there was no actual shooting in war games. I'm talking about actual shooting, blow 'em up robots on both sides.
Good question. Thinker. Okay, so anyway, we decided DC-3 C-47's got to be in the movie. Now, the reason I picked the F-104 Starfighter in Japanese markings, what was that silly-ass kaiju movie where they're chasing a guy in the golf cart or whatever it is, but all the F-104s keep running into him, but they're clearly Hasegawa models that are just being thrown at a guy in a suit. I mean, the special effects were beyond bad, but Starfighters wreak cold.
Thunderstruck got it right. Robot Jocks.
Well, no, there were people in them, though.
What?
In Robot Jocks, there were people in the machines.
Right, but they were from opposing,
Yeah, but there were still people involved. They weren't completely automated.
Yeah,
No.
I'm talking about totally automated, autonomous.
He's talking about no humans involved.
No.
Yeah, no people, just robots out there fighting it off.
You know, Robot Jocks actually, by the way, I just watched the thing on Robot Jocks, a little documentary on it. I didn't realize that one of the actors that plays one of the guys that's making the bets was Wei-Yun from Star Trek, Jeffrey Combs, in one of his earliest roles. And for all you Trekkies out there, he also played Shran. Man, he played so many characters on Star Trek. He was up there with the late great what's his name, played Kern, Todd. Okay. So anyway, I thought the Starfighter was a good addition because it reeks Cold War. It's been used in lots of monster movies and stuff, and usually in Japanese markings because Japan. Now.
Well, Transformers. Somebody said Transformers animated series. Yeah, but they're self-aware.
Yeah, they're living beings. Now,
just go and send them out there, robots to shoot each other up.
The reason I picked the 67 Galaxy is because that is what David Vincent was driving at the beginning of The Invaders. And it also makes a good government car. And what are you snickering at, Ken?
Sluggo says, Max, don't take your stormtrooper in the tub.
First off, that's Monica's, not mine. And she didn't have a place to put it, so it's here. And absolutely not. But first of all, we don't have a tub. I take showers. But anyway, TMI. They said that David Vincent was driving a 67 Galaxy hardtop at the beginning of The Invaders.
Oh, it was a 66 Galaxy convertible.
I thought it was a convertible. Okay, yeah, well, that's what I get for using AI. Serves me right. But they also said that in one scene at the end, they had a continuity error because he was driving a Fairlane. So, television show. Anyway, but I think
cars a lot during the course of the show.
Yeah, on a Thunderbird at one point, I think. But the idea I'm driving at is that a mid-60s generic sedan government vehicle type got to be part of your presentation. And well, maybe not part of the presentation, but it's got to be in the movie. If you're going to make your diorama, that's like the government car to use. Now, the next thing I picked was the Sikorsky H-19, and I looked for one in Japanese markings because the world's stupidest helicopter pilot in King Kong versus Godzilla. You see this H-19 tracking Godzilla, and the whole time he's above him and behind him and out of the way. And then for some reason, a moron decides to fly in front of him and gets torched by radiation breath, which of course is just the movie maker's way of adding a little action to the film. I can't conceive of a human being, not even a kamikaze Japanese, being that freaking crazy. But the H-19 is in so many movies of that era because it was a dominant helicopter. It was in that, was it the giant, it was Black Scorpion, the giant scorpion? The one down in
yeah.
What was the name of it?
Black Scorpion.
Black Scorpion. It was in King Kong versus Godzilla. It was in a ton of these movies. And it has the look for it. It looks like it belongs in a science fiction movie. I mean, think about it. The engineer said, hey, let's take a big radial airplane engine, shove it in the nose, and run a shaft through the cockpit up to a transmission on top. I don't know what they were drinking, but it was stronger than anything I have on the shelf. But I believe that the H-19 helicopter is the science fiction helicopter.
That looks a little bit like a cricket or a locust.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? Now, the next thing, any truck with rockets will do. So, of course, I fell back on Old Faithful, the mighty, honest John. This, of course, is an icon of the Cold War, but it has also been used in quite a few science fiction movies. Well, at least one that comes to mind. Oh God, was it Rodan? I forget which one. Anyway, it is
Pretty much all of them.
yeah, it's perfect. First off, it's exactly the thing they would use because it was an inventory. They were relatively cheap to produce. They'd have lots of them, and it has the look. Even if this hadn't been a real weapon system, it looks like something a science fiction writer would dream up. It's just because let's face it, a lot of 50s and 60s Cold War was metaphors for the a lot of 50s and 60s science fiction was metaphor for the Cold War. And I just
You gotta get out of the driver's seat before they fired it.
oh no, yeah, no one was near the truck when it was fired. They were all gone. They were 50 yards
Or
away.
they would have been gone.
Or they would have been gone. Yeah, that thing had a
I would've-
whopping big.
I would have been in another Jeep driving as fast as I could in the opposite direction.
Actually, you got 40, 50 yards away. You were fine. There's plenty of footage out there of the crews. They're about 50 yards away. They're perfectly safe. You'd be safe probably 20 yards away, maybe a little concussion. Hey,
So if you're
Steve.
launching a nuclear warhead on that thing, I would be running in the other direction as fast as possible.
Oh no, yeah. The nuke, the thing went 10 miles downrange before it blew the nuke, but it was nuclear capable. Steve, Ken,
Didn't have a 15-mile range. It had
12
10-mile
initially,
range,
but
did
that
blast radius of 15 miles.
no, that's the Davy Crockett you're thinking of. It had about a 1 mile range with a 1.5 mile blast radius. Guys, I have to take a super quick break, so you guys carry the show for a minute. I'll be right back. I'm out of cough medicine. I have to get rid of the old stuff. Be right back.
Okay.
Well,
You can talk about
here we
Roland
are
Dahl.
again, Ken.
Here we are again. What are we going to talk about?
Let's see. How many weapons would you guys have felt comfortable with that were nuclear tipped standing around after they were launched?
Not too many. Like I said, I'd be running in the other direction as fast as I could because you don't know what the blast range of that thing is, or it might even fall short. And you go, oh crap, I'm within the blast range now.
Or blow up as it got launched?
Or that too, yeah. That never happened. I guess there was safeties on it that had to go a certain distance before it would arm itself, but still, you wouldn't want to be too close to that thing.
No, and it's amazing how when you look back at the nukes that were tested after the war, the places that they tested them on are still hot and uninhabitable, and you can't go there.
Like the Bikini Atoll.
I just watched a video on YouTube today about the ships that are still there. There's
They're
some
still there.
There's some that didn't sink, and the rest of them are sunk. And you just don't want to go there because they're still hot.
They're still hot.
And they will be hot for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that you can tell the difference between pre-nuclear steel and after nuclear steel because there's radioactive material mixed in with the post-nuclear steel.
Would you grow an arm there, Ken? Or?
My dinner just showed up. At least that's what I've heard.
Yeah, well, it's
And that's one of the reasons why some people actually mine shipwrecks. They get the steel back because it was pre-nuclear steel. It's supposed to be better for some reason.
oh, nice, Sluggo. The patients are running the asylum, right? But what would you rather have? The head like resident running the asylum, which is what we had before he went for a refill.
Max needs an inflatable co-pilot in the movie Airplane.
To prop him up for breaks.
Named Otto. All right, thank you. Yeah, these mysterious arms are bringing you food. Sustenance. Good sustenance.
Hey, KLS&C says at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota, I was in the launch crew capsule for the Minuteman. That's the safe place for a launch.
Yeah, underground. Yeah.
Right next to it, no less. Okay, sorry, I got cornered by the cat when I went outside.
You're forgiven.
She was demanding attention.
Did the ships grow an extra bow?
Okay, the next model that you have to have, and I'm thinking the Dino De Laurentiis King Kong, but also Kong Skull Island. I think Huey helicopters have a place in science fiction movies.
All right. I'm still here. I'm just going dark because I'm sure nobody wants to watch me eat.
What are you having, Ken? Let me guess. Burritos?
How did you know?
Or as we say down here, burritos. Okay, so I think the UH-1 has a place because it's been in a couple of kaiju movies, and it's also one thing I noticed about all these vehicles I'm picking is that for the most part, or most of these vehicles I'm picking, it makes sense that they're in these movies because they were in common usage. The H-19, the UH-1, the C-47, they were the dominant aircraft of their era. So it makes sense that they would be, in the movies because that's what everybody was using at the time. It's funny when I was putting all this together, I started making these connections, and when I do research for these live streams or the videos and stuff, it's just amazing. A lot of little stuff that just kind of comes and bubbles up to the surface knowledge wise. Like, oh, okay, you kind of make these connections you wouldn't have normally made because I'm retired and that's what I do. You want to see me stoned? Wait a minute. Do you mean with rocks or marijuana? Because that really changes the look of the thing.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing. Holy cow, this thing's enormous.
Well, Garfield said it best. He said it best. The UH-1s make good cannon fodder in monster movies. They really do.
Good.
Kong got 2 of them in the 77 movie, and he got, the whole bunch of them. Wiped out all 12 or 11 of them in the,
that's like the F-86s in the early Toho movies.
Oh, okay. All right. Since you brought that up, let's see. I don't know if that's the next one or not, but there's the Godzilla Jeep, the Astro Monster Jeep. That was, had to be. That was okay. And then, of course, quite a few movies have had the Japanese version of the Sea Knight. But hold on. I got it here somewhere. Oh, there it is. You're not only the F-86, Steve, but I went and got a Japanese F-86 just for you.
There you go.
And although this one has a couple of sidewinders on it, which means it's a very late model, it's the F model. But no, the F-86 is definitely, although I know the Japanese are physically smaller than Americans, generally speaking, but I look at this box art and I see how small that pilot is, and I'm like, either that's the world's biggest F-86 or the world's smallest F-86 pilot, because those things are snug inside. They are not.
Did they resize the F-86 for the pilot?
Pretty much. I'm kind of like, come on, guys. I mean, I know it's Japanese, but they ain't that small.
The smaller pilots, they don't need as big a plane, right?
And the F-86 is not that big an airplane, and not like a Phantom or something, which I'll give the Phantom credit. It has a little bit of room in the cockpit. So another vehicle that is used in a lot of these movies, of course, I'm using the like the late 80s, early 90s version, but the New York City Police Department police car has been in so many sci-fi movies because a lot of stuff happening. Independence Day, the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds, and police cars in general. They're a staple of science fiction. No movie do they get more attention than the movie Them. which to this day, my older brother still talks about the movie Them as a demonstration of the days of quote unquote good government, you know. And I know what he means. The institutions could be trusted, and the police were dedicated people who were doing a job, and you know, they were competent and everything. I'm kind of like, if I was going to make a movie that put the government in a good light, I would say Them is about as good a movie as you could find. What say you, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, well, after that long dissertation,
Earth versus the flying saucers.
yeah, actually, you know what? You're right. You're right. A police motorcycle. There are a couple of. Speaking of Earth versus the flying saucers, that's actually what made me pick this picture of the Harley Davidson motorcycle, because the police officer, the motorcycle cop, has actually a fairly substantial role in one scene in that. And not the brightest bulb in the box, you know. I mean, if I'm dealing with intergalactic people, I'm not going to try and take them on with a 38 Smith & Wesson. But although I think the general did kill one of them with an M1 carbine.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't realize this. You know those Tic Tacs that the Air Force and the Navy been chasing around all over the sky trying to figure out? I didn't realize they shot one down over, I think it was Lake Erie a couple of years ago. They got it with a Sidewinder. So whatever it is, it ain't invincible. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's these things they call Tic Tacs, which for about 15 years, they've been popping up. The military's been chasing them around. Nobody knows what the hell they are. One of them went underwater and it popped back out and flew away. People assume there's some kind of drone. Everybody wants to act like they're from outer space. And hell, I don't know. They may be. But I didn't realize they actually shot one down a couple of years ago. It's gotten surprisingly little press, because if they are from another planet, which I don't think they are, but I have no great, inside knowledge, but I'm like, well, they're not immune to Sidewinders.
Probably a CIA project.
I was assuming some sort of dark project, and what they could be foreign, they could be private sector. I mean, never make the assumption that we have the best and latest and coolest tech and that nobody can surpass us. We made that mistake in 43, and then V2 started dropping on London. But anyway, motorcycle police, definitely being a sci-fi movie. And also in helicopters, police choppers and news choppers. And news copters have been fairly significant in a number of science fiction movies. So I would definitely include them. Sometimes they're getting in the way, sometimes they're helping out, but man, newscopters have been big in a whole bunch of sci-fi, which makes sense. I mean that's as well as police choppers. So I'd have a couple of those on the table. And
I have a slight tangent.
you go ahead. I'm not. I don't have the monopoly on tangents, Ken. You're allowed one for show.
Oh, I get one. All right. Well, here's my tangent. How about models that were predictions of the future and got it wrong?
Kent. Oh, I forgot he turned his camera. I'm turning to my left. You're right. And I am looking at those new shelves I put up. And one complete shelf is dedicated to precisely that. In fact, I'm going to take a picture of it and post it here while we're talking about it.
Good job, Ken.
Yeah, Ken, good job.
Okay, now Louie's gone.
No, I just had to go get the right angle to take the picture. I'm going to put this up. That is actually kind of the idea for my Godzilla movie, is that I have a missed call from Ken. Okay, at 6:46. Not sure what that was about.
Letting you know it was coming.
Oh, good. Well, that's good. Good. Okay, hold on. Man, I got to go through a bit of a procedure here. So, hold on to that thought, boys and girls, while Max does his magic. Okay. Max's cell phone, internal storage, DCN is digital camera, internal memory. Go to camera, highlight, cut, move that over to D drive L245 and paste. Now I can put it up here, go plus, image 2, browse, See, I have to do all these button clicks to bring all this information to you. This PC, D drive, L245. Okay, where's the picture? There it is. Open. Okay. All right. You guys will see it in about 15 or 20 seconds. This is my shelf of exactly what you were talking about. And I didn't realize that about half this stuff came from Disney. But we have the Willy Lay Space Taxi, the suborbital airliner. Now, the two hovercraft, the Aero Car, and I think it was the SR2 hovercraft, those actually were real. The hovercraft didn't work. The little Aero Car didn't work. The hovercraft did, and actually did lead, but it was an experimental. It led into, and then we've got the car, the Sabre, La Sabre. Got two of the Boeing SSTs that never got built. Got the Werner von Braun space station, the Disney moon rocket, Werner von Braun lunar lander, the what is it thing? The retriever rocket. I forgot. I got Dinosaur, and I got the 2001 Orion shuttle, which I put in different markings. I love this shelf because I actually put together a shelf, Ken, of exactly what you're talking about. Stuff that should have been, could have been, would have been, but wasn't. And kind of sad, actually, when you think about it. I mean, we're perfectly capable of doing all this today. I don't know if you guys have watched For All Mankind. I watched the first season or two and kind of lost interest in it. I mean, but it's still a good series. And it's kind of like, what if we kept on going? And the whole premise is that the Russians beat us to the moon, so the space race never ended, which led us to really drive ourselves. Are you looking at this, Ken?
Yeah.
Is this what you're talking about?
Close.
If you got a mouthful of burrito, just go, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ken can't wait to eat his bowl.
Now you know what to get him for his birthday next year. Screen cleaner.
Now, I'm not sure exactly. I didn't have anything specifically in mind. I mean, these are all visions of the future in space.
But this is what could have been. I mean, a lot of he's talking about triangular. If you're talking about the black one on the bottom right, that's the X-20 Dinosaur, which is short for dynamic soaring. Okay, tangent time. Da, da, da. We got to come up with a little thing, a button I can go. It's tangent time. So the X-20 Dinosaur.
Why do we need to warn them?
So they know when to turn off.
Because, Ken, it's the humane thing to do. So the little thing on the lower right, the black thing that looks like a miniature space shuttle, that's actually what it is. It's called Dinosaur, short for dynamic soaring, the X-20. This was a two-man, a couple of versions, 1 and 2 man. This was actually how we were planning to go to space. This mock-ups were made, engineering drawings were done. We were going to use a reusable spacecraft. But the Russians got men into space. We needed this. The Dinosaur was going to take years to work out the engineering on. We needed something fast. If you remember in the movie The Right Stuff, when their stand-in for Werner von Braun was talking about, if we want to get something up quick and dirty, we put him up in a pod, because everyone knew a capsule was fast. And so Dinosaur got shelved and eventually canceled. And it's sad because it was a program that could have led us to greater things, but it didn't happen. But it was a real program that got shelved. And you're asking about the Major Mason? I should mention that.
One of the most interesting lines I thought in that movie is when Kennedy came out and said, "Hey, we need to be to the moon in a decade." He said, "That's probably," basically what he said is that's probably one of the worst things that could happen, because once we get there, we haven't built any infrastructure. There's no backup. We just get there and then that's it, which is pretty much what happened.
Okay. You open this can of worms, so what's about to happen is Ken's fault. He probably won't come back on camera after this. Oh God, how can I am
My
going to
wife
get
is
so
laughing.
much hate for what I'm about. I am going to get lambasted for what I'm about to say, but I'm going to stand by it. And because to paraphrase General Buck Turgison, Mr. President, the truth is not always a pretty thing. Okay. We are a free market capitalist system. And by the way, it was Marx that came up with the phrase capitalist. And the Russians, of course, are centralized. But the lunar mission was very much a government centralized program. It had to be to get all the organs together to meet the timeline that Kennedy sent because it was a political goal. Now, don't get me wrong. Tons of great science came out of it, and I'm glad we did it. I grew up with it. I lived and died by the rocket launches. I was a space kid all the way. I'm sure that shocks no one. But, and there's a but, that was only going to happen while there was the political will. With Kennedy being gone and us having beaten the Russians to the moon, the only reason that 12 through 17 took place is because they were basically already paid for. That's why 18, 19, and 20 got canceled. Gene Cernan said it best. We reached into the 21st century and grabbed a decade and pulled it down way ahead of when we should have. So, Ken, this dovetails what you were talking about. We got a lot of great technology, but we never built up an infrastructure for long term. Everything was about being first and ticking all these boxes. If you will allow me to pontificate for just a moment.
Max, please pontificate.
Whether we allow it or not, you're going to do it.
Well, if you guys told me not to, I would turn you off and then do it anyway.
Right.
More cough medicine.
But it's not like nothing would happen. I mean, I would have the screen to myself, and I'm a god when I'm at sea. What movie is that from? So anyway,
So Lingo wants to know if you've had all those kits in your tub.
oh, those things don't get anywhere near the water. And I don't have a tub. I take showers, guys. I haven't taken a bath since I was 12. Okay, wait a minute. That sounded wrong. Yeah, boy, I smell right. I scare off bacteria. But now that, okay, guys, please forgive me for this. We don't get political here. This is strictly an observational comment, okay? Now that space is moving private sector, and we have created the world's first trillionaire, and yes, Elon is worth 1.1 trillion thanks to his IP. I'm sorry, Steve, I forgot that's also. Well, anyway, the point I'm driving at is that we're now getting the infrastructure initiated through the private sector. We would never have beaten the Russians to the political goal of getting on the moon first with only the private sector. It took a massive centralized government program to make that happen. But once it did, we screwed ourselves by having a massive space organization. And do you know what the root word of organization is? Organ. And organs and organisms want to survive. There are two fundamental driving forces behind every organism, from protozoa to humans and whatever's above us, and that is to, one, survive, and two, propagate. That's it. You want to know what the meaning of life is? That's it. Okay. How did we get to this on a kit model channel? So NASA sucked up
You talk.
billions and billions to keep
It's like
themselves
being at
alive.
DMV.
Ow, that hurt. DMV. You at least said the FAA. But the shuttle program, which I loved, but it sucked up billions that could have gone on to much greater programs. And Steve, you're
Well, they're trying
yawning
to
in
build a
front of the
space
camera.
truck.
At least close the camera or step out of range when you're going to do that. I know I'm boring, but really, right to my face.
Steve, what did you do to him?
I yawned.
Oh, boy, did he ever. Oh, by the
That's
way,
ultimate
I could
insult.
see your tonsil scars. But anyway, so enough of that. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Are you guys having fun? I hope you're having fun, because that's ultimately the idea of this thing. Let
Well,
you
very
guys.
few people are making other comments, so they must be all listening.
Or sleeping.
No, well, whatever. Look, we got 98 people watching. We had 103, so I bored 5 of them into, whatever, clicking off, and I can't blame them. No judgment here. What was our record, Steve? 164?
Yeah, one. Yeah.
Well, whatever. So let's get back to models. I'm sorry. I love doing this. This was fun. I have a great time. I hope you guys are having some fun. But in the end, this is all about having a good time. And if you're bored, you don't like what I'm talking about, and you click off, good on you, because it's your life and you do what you want with it. I don't mind if you leave it behind. It doesn't bother me. So anyway, Newscopter and the Police Copter's got to be in my sci-fi movie presentation. We talked about the motorcycle. Did I miss anything? No, that's all of them. So moving on to the next thing that will be in there, we talked about the F-86s. Now, I included this Japanese Sherman EZ-8 tank, and yes, we gave the Japanese Sherman tanks after the war, and they loved them. They couldn't believe how roomy they were inside compared to what they'd been using during the war. Because the Shermans are in a couple of Godzilla. In fact, during Godzilla versus King Kong, he melts a Sherman.
Well, that's because we built them to fit Americans.
That's right. That's exactly right, Ken. And, the Japanese did build some tanks comparable to the Sherman towards the end of the war, about 50 of them, but they all stayed in Japan for defense of the island. How'd that work out for you? Anyway, so you got to have might have a Sherman tank in there. It depends on the era, of course. We're going to talk about that more. And of course, doing this subject matter, I had to include Hasegawa's Shinden, which has, Godzilla -1 in the background. And and yes, they built 2, one flew, the other one never finished, blah, 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 blah. I've seen the remnants of it at the Smithsonian. You were with me, Steve.
Yes, I was.
And the first thing I realized when I looked at that is, man, those Japanese really are small. I couldn't wedge my butt in that cockpit.
Garfield said, well, the fireplace channel is not on tonight, so Max is it.
What's
Ow.
the fireplace channel?
He's making a joke that I'm about as exciting as watching a fireplace.
Oh.
Do the math, Steve. Do the math. Now, I love this one. This is a submarine, and I took one look at this because you got to have a submarine in a science fiction movie. That is the law. And I saw that island behind it, and like, this looks just like them leaving the island in King Kong Escapes. And I was like, that is perfect for this video. That may be the most perfect image for this video. But you got to have a submarine in a sci-fi movie. And usually you have to destroy it.
What about the sea view?
Yeah, but this image was better for what we're talking about. The sea view is its own story. Now, I will point out something, though. There has been a submarine that survived a Godzilla movie, and that was the new one where they go out on the, walk out on the sub and Godzilla roars and shoots his flame in the air in the new Legacy film. I'm like, wait a minute. The submarine got out of a Godzilla movie alive? That doesn't compute. Seahawk in King Kong versus Godzilla. Was the Atagon or whatever it was in I don't even remember which one. God, there have been so many Godzilla movies I can't keep them straight. Submarines don't survive Godzilla movies. Okay, even in that horrible Matthew Broderick film, the submarines got zapped in New York Harbor, which is just wrong on so many levels. But submarine. Now, Steve, in a few, it's going to be a moment before you get the feed, but you'll see this kit by the Lindbergh line. Let me know when it comes up.
Okay. Still this up.
You got to have a light plane in a science fiction movie. This is the law, and I will tell you why.
Stinson.
Stenson. Now, what movie is that from?
This Island Earth.
This Island Earth. What other movie? It was an Aranca, not a Stenson, but it's a similar looking airplane. What other movie did a small plane like this have a significant role in?
Cyclops.
I didn't even know about that one, no, but even more famous movie. Famous.
Famous.
War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
And he steals a little army. Turned out it was an Aranca chief, which I don't even think the army ever used, but who cares? Anyway, Clayton Forrester was a lousy pilot, I'll tell you that right now. But
what about that 172 or 182 that James Bond flew over the Arecibo radio telescope?
Yeah, but how's that sci-fi? You talking about GoldenEye?
I guess that's what the name of the movie was. I just remember that particular scene where they launched a missile out of it was a lake and went right through the wings fuel tank.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
I mean, that was science fiction, right?
Nah, James Bond I don't really consider science fiction, but although it has, I guess it does have some elements of science fiction in it. But I mean,
only a Moonraker.
No, Diamonds Are Forever.
That's true.
Yes, Spectre has its own space program, and it's bigger than Jiminy, and it's able to swallow up entire spaceships. It was, although I gotta admit, when I was a kid and I saw it, I thought it was pretty weird and cool.
You only live twice.
What?
You only live twice.
I thought that was.
No, Diamonds Are Forever was the one that had the diamonds up in the spaceship, and it had a laser, and it could hit things on Earth.
Okay. They both dealt with space. Moonraker, Diamonds Are Forever, and You Only Live Twice. Well, You Only Live Twice is the one where he went up into space. Yeah. Or they had the big spaceship that was grabbing.
No, that was Moonraker.
No. The one where the spaceship was grabbing the capsules in space and bringing them back.
That was You Only Live Twice.
Oh, okay. By the way,
that's current technology.
In the book Moonraker, which was written before there was a space shuttle, it was basically just a missile.
Right.
Okay. But This Island Earth and
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds, light planes played a role, and I think it's cool to have a light plane in there. And plus, I kind of like the old Stinson. Almost bought one once. They're not real good in a crosswind because of that barn door tail they've got, but they are gentlemen's airplanes overall. Let's see. And Lindbergh's the only ones that make this kit, and I have it, and I painted it up as the plane in. I've got it all painted up as the plane in This Island Earth. And remember, if you're building a model of something, and something isn't quite right, the scale is off or something, just go buy yourself a little scale Hollywood camera and put it in front of it, and everything is forgiven because Hollywood makes mistakes, and then it's just a movie set. Like the Aurora scenes. You can get away with anything. Now, this next thing is a fishing trawler. How many movies does a fishing trawler, science fiction movies, does a fishing trawler play a significant part? And the ones that came to mind immediately, Gorgo,
Godzilla,
the original Godzilla, and the Matthew Broderick Godzilla when he drags the fishing boat under the water and it pops back up to the surface. And I'm sure there are others. So, the Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's not technically a trawler, but it's kind of the same class of boat. I mean, there was the Rita.
Yeah.
So. And I'll tell you, I think one of the and then there's the ferry scene in the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds, which is a different kind of ship, but still, I think one of the reasons that
Giant Behemoth.
What?
Giant Behemoth.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That one's subtly named.
Well, you got to admit it, it's kind of spot on with that. But the thing, the point being that I think the reason that small boats like, or large boats, small ships like this are good in science fiction is because the ocean is probably more full of mysteries than the sky. We can see the sky, we can't really see what's beneath the depths. So a boat makes an excellent vehicle for telling or storytelling about, what's below the water, the mystery of the deep. Jurassic Park, or several of the Jurassic movies, a bunch of them. There's something underwater, there is. You're out on a boat, but you can't see it. And they make the perfect storytelling vehicle for, mystery, what's down there. So you're going to have a fishing boat scene in there, or a boat scene in there, or something like this at some point. And sometimes they meet the demise, and sometimes they don't. But no matter how you square it, they're excellent vehicles for science fiction movie storytelling. Man, I really need to have my own TV show like Svengoolie or something.
Ooh, how about that vehicle that was used in Damnation Alley?
Oh, that's the Landmaster. That was
Dean Jeffries.
Dean Jeffries. Man, I think that was his crowning achievement. He made a lot of vehicles.
That thing was sitting outside his shop for years.
If you watch the movie The Wizard of Space and Time, when he rides his bicycle, he goes past Dean Jeffries' garage, and you see the thing just sitting out there in an open bay garage in the background. Which I'm pretty sure is why he filmed there.
He also did the moon buggy from Diamonds Are Forever.
That's right. By the way, guys, if you want to see a true indie film in the truest sense, and I'm talking about more indie than the Blair Witch Project, go watch The Wizard of Space and Time. It was made in the 80s, I think, by a Mike Jankowski or something like that, who was a huge fan. He actually had built props for Hollywood. He made some stuff for several movies. He made props and everything. And he made that movie using the old school techniques. There's actually some documentaries about how he did it. And he did it out of his own personal wallet, which, trust me, was not deep. And the movie is about a guy trying to make an indie film and how he gets screwed by Hollywood and producers. And it has every indie hallmark you can imagine. It is absolutely an educational experience. It's probably out on YouTube for free. The Wizard of Space and Time. You watch that and you will understand what true indie filmmaking is about. And he actually takes the movie to like Comic-Cons and stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, the guy he is to independent filmmaking what Rocky was to big independent filmmaking. Like, people forget Rocky was an indie film. Did you know that? Steve?
Yes, I did.
Okay, soliciting a response here. I speak, you speak.
Because nobody else thought it was going to be anything.
What was the budget on that film anyway?
What's that?
What was the budget on that movie?
I don't know, but he wrote it. He wanted to star in it. He was sort of a virtual unknown at that point. I mean,
sort of. He'd freaking done Corman films,
Right. That was about it.
Death Race 2000, and which he kind of like, yeah, don't bring that. If you meet Stallone, don't bring up Death Race 2000. Right. And I'm like, if I was Stallone, I'd wear it like a badge of effing honor.
He also did a softcore porn too.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they called him the Italian Stallion. Hey, you do it. Look, actors are the product that they market. You got to own it, man. And a lot of them had. Look, I don't care what you guys think about Stallone. The man earned his stripes. He did. Anyway. So the last thing, getting back to what people were talking about, is the M61 tank, which is, I got this picture deliberately. This actually was going to be the first photo, but I saved it for last. Now, let me explain the significance of this tank in science fiction.
I don't know, they paint a target on the side of it.
Yeah, really. Good marking selection, guys, but it also prevents fracture size. The M61 tank is a Japanese tank that came about in the 1950s, I think. And they used a lot of American technology, torsion bar suspension, blah, 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 blah. I know you don't care. Anyway, point I'm getting at is that this appeared in, I know King Kong Escapes. These are the tanks that pull up, that point the guns at King Kong when, was it Rex Rhodes or Rhodes Reason? I forget the actor's name. Who tells him, don't shoot at him, it'll just aggravate him. He's going to fight Mechanic Kong. Who was it?
Yeah, that's who it was.
Who?
It was Rhodes Reason.
Rhodes Reason. Okay. So Rex Rhodes was it
brother.
Rex?
It was his brother.
Oh, okay. God, it gets confusing. Was he the movie critic?
No, they were both actors.
Oh, okay. I forget. There was a movie critic named Rex something. Anyway.
Rex Reed.
Ah, that was it. He was actually one of my.
He just died a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Believe it or not, Rex Rhodes, he said Rex Rhodes?
Reason.
Rex Reason. No. The critic.
Rex Reed.
Rex Reed was when I was a first officer at Mesa on the CRJ, my captain, Dave W., I won't give his name for reasons of internet security, married a girl named Denise. And she was a Hollywood type. And her stepfather, I want to say, that was him. Anyway, so I never met the guy, but I have a distant, like a third party connection to it. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Who cares?
Are you done with your story yet?
I don't even know where I was going with it. Okay. He tells.
Before you do that, let me interject something.
Go ahead.
This is really good. Tom's box says M61, the red shirt of science fiction.
Yes, yes, it is. Because they show up against King Kong and King Kong escapes. And that's when Rhodes Reason tells him, don't shoot, it'll just tick him off. Let him fight Mechanic Kong. And that is one of my favorite scenes in a kaiju movie. When the tank commander opens the turret and sticks his head up out of the cupola. And when they tell him to run away, he just shuts it and they run away. And, it's like, no shots fired. Like, yes, exactly what I would have done. It's also when it gets melted by Godzilla, I think in King Kong vs. Godzilla. This tank has a fair amount of Godzilla and King Kong kaiju credo. Now, when I did one of my mini videos years ago, God, I can't remember the stuff I've researched. I tried to find out where the studio got the model. They build them in-house. They buy off-the-shelf kits. Judging by the way it melted down, I assume it was an off-the-shelf kit. But, there's always a but, I found a little snippet on a forum buried in the backwaters of the internet that said there was a Japanese hobby shop that sold some metal remote control versions of this, which the guy thought they used in the movie. He didn't have the name of the hobby shop. I couldn't find out if it still existed, which being a hobby shop, I doubt it. But I did dig into it. So I don't know if the M61s were made by Studio Tech, by the model builders of the studio, or if it were bought, but I think they were acquired from a hobby shop, and I think they're about 1/16 scale. But those would be the ones that drove around. The ones that melted were probably plastic metal kits, because metal would have melted like that. And yes, this is how I spend my days. Welcome to my world.
We should get a new sign to put on the screen, and we would say Max Google of tangent trivia.
If you know what? I have an M61. Okay.
Hold on, before you go into that.
You guys talk for a minute. I have to go get rid of
Wait a minute. Lance Ravel says, Max, I sent you emails on the Aliens versus Floridians YouTube video shorts. Hilarious. Channel is Cooked Conspiracies.
I will be checking that out. You guys talk for a minute. I have to get rid of some cough medicine. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, Steve. You and Ken have an opportunity to talk about me behind my back.
You have
But
to
give it a
leave. You
pound
got
of
the
six
gla-
till I get out
You
the
got the
door.
glass. You got the glass it came in on. Use it to come out on.
Oh,
All right, guys, we're going to have a new contest. And the contest is going to be starting next live stream. How many tangents do you think he will go off on during the show? And you gotta sign in at the beginning and say how many tangents you think he'll hit during the show. And then we'll add it up at the end of the show and we'll declare the winner of the week.
Sometimes they're hard to tell. You know, it's
Yeah, well,
tangent, 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 tangent.
we need to get a bell. So when he has a tangent, just hit the bell and go, okay, new tangent, you know.
That's a really good idea. I didn't
Yep,
think
so
about
that will be in the next live stream.
Instead
the
of when it says
beginning.
Godzilla.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be good. And whoever gets the number right gets on-screen credit.
There you go.
Wow, hard to count. Yes. Who's keeping track? Steve and I will keep track.
Yeah. Every time you ring the bell, we'll mark it down.
Make sure we have
We
enough
need a scientific calculator to keep track.
Make sure we have enough significant digits to keep track of that number.
Get the
programmer humor.
Get the computer fired up.
For this show, Captain Tangent has been promoted to Major
Tangent.
Cheapest motorized model tank you can get. Really? They were motorized.
Maybe $4 in 1975.
Wow.
I'm back.
Okay, so what we've decided is
If we get a different number, we'll just average it.
Don't tell me, because if you tell me, it'll queer the results.
well, what
Not likely.
we've decided is
Not likely.
that starting with the next live stream, instead of when do you mention Godzilla, it will be how many tangents will you go off on during the course of the show.
Jeez. Okay, I want to enter this pool and say 13.
Okay. You always have to wipe yourself down when you come back.
How did you know I was doing that? No,
What?
seriously, I've got a napkin in my hand. I'm wiping some.
Yeah.
How did you know I was doing that?
Did you miss?
I grab. Hold on, let me turn this picture off. I grabbed when I sat down and a little went down the side of it, and you said, "Oh, you're wiping yourself off," and I'm like, how do you know?
Oh, he has a drinking problem.
Yeah.
Nobody can
that's a
see
little
him.
creepy.
You still got that picture of the tank up there.
It'll be gone in about 10 seconds,
There you go.
depending on your
Gone
feed. You remember, Ken, there's like a 20-second lag. So anyway, we're asking about Major Matt Mason. I had to hold him on the shoulder like a parrot.
You know how much those things go for on eBay?
Yes, because 20 years ago, my brother got me that. It was like $30.
Yeah. They go
Now,
for
this
like-
one still has working wires in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
Which is
all
why I
broken.
don't articulate him so they'll keep working. And his helmet opens and closes. I can't breathe. Okay. Oh, thank you. Whoop. Sorry, dude. Ouch. Drop it.
Ted Schuyler airplane drinking problem. Oh, Stryker. Ted Stryker.
Striker. Drinking. Yeah, that's what the Striker. I got
Yeah.
a drinking problem. But okay.
Tangent.
There are two okay. Now I'm going to switch gears. We are. You know what?
Hey,
hold on.
Eric, nice to hear from you.
Hey,
With
Eric.
15 minutes to go.
Okay. The official
Was there a
line.
long line at In and Out.
There's always a long line in and out. You know that, Steve.
Yes, there
Okay,
is.
guys. The official live stream is now over. Okay. We covered all of my slides. We talked about what I was going to talk about. We are now in a free fire zone. You are free to ask any question, bring up any subject, and we're free to talk about anything.
Yes,
So,
Max does have the Major Matt's lunar crawler. He does have.
do you want me to go get it? It's out in the
Go ahead. We'll
garage.
talk about you while you're gone.
I don't know.
Do you have
I
the
do
space
have, and
station?
I have Sergeant Storm in it. I almost brought it in the other day, but I got no place near to put it.
Yeah,
The
it
space
looks
station?
pretty full in there.
Okay, guys, watch your eyes. Don't get vertigo. I'm going to turn the camera and show you the new cabinets, okay?
Go,
So
go.
I'll try to go.
Push in the clutch to change gears.
Okay, there's my work desk. And
Oh, welcome, Eric. I assure you, you didn't miss anything of merit.
ouch, hurtful. There are my two new cabinets right there. I know it'll be about a 20-second delay before you see them. But and I'm using the light from those instead of the little light I normally use to illuminate my face. It's working fine. This is much less distracting. I absolutely love these new cabinets.
Where'd you get them?
They came off Amazon.
No.
Well, I can give you the information if you want, but they're the same thing I have behind me. The light has 3 settings. You hit the button the first time, and you get this blue light, which I like to use for the background. Hit it a second time, you get a white light. Hit it a third time, it mixes the two of them. Those I just showed you are mixed, white and blue. And you see, I wasn't kidding. You see? Well, I was talking about spilling it on myself when I was wiping that up when you said that. Right over my right teeth.
Thank you for pointing that out, Max.
Yeah, well, I figured somebody was going to notice. I just get ahead of it. This Beatty's T-shirt was a gift from a glue trooper. Thank you very much. I feel
Beatty's hobby store.
Yeah, in the UK, in London.
Oh,
I guess it's London. Apparently, it was like it. Apparently, if I understand it, Beatty's was to London or the UK what Polk's was to.
Polk's was to US.
Yes.
Sluggo wants to know how much the cabinets cost.
Oh crap! I don't remember. They weren't that expensive. Like I don't know, 100, 200 a piece. They weren't outrageous, like 150 a pop or something.
You didn't get it brand new. You got it from some used.
No. We had to build them. They came in flats. They come in very heavy cardboard boxes. You got to put everything together. The instructions, it's like IKEA. The instructions are very clear, pretty clear. There are some.
You mean unlike an MPC kit?
Okay, bring it, Gog. Okay, Steve, I know you're dying to go there.
No.
Steve is convinced that MPC means more plastic crap. Go ahead. I know you want to get into it.
After I've just about finished what I've been working on, I called Max today and I asked him to please remind me that if I ever said in his presence that my next kit was going to be an empty object available and strike me in the head several times. That's how I feel about MPC kits. Thank you very much.
I got it.
Fun with that Firebird.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was thrilled with that too. Yeah.
I got to admit, I mean, the only MPC, well, some of my Star Wars stuff is MPC. One of my GTO, my hardtop GTO is MPC, and I built it after I built the AMT convertible GTO. I think it's a 66 and a 67. Anyway, point being that I noticed, and I did a video on this years ago, you can go and check it out, and I noticed that MPC, the plastic was a little translucent, and it just wasn't up to AMT standards. Monogram, I know some people have written me recently, especially with the Formula One and IndyCar is concerned, they actually preferred the monogram kits, but that's very subjective. When people say I prefer this, it's not that I discount it. It matters, but you also understand that certain people like things, some people like detail, some people like ease of build. The two things are kind of at odds with each other a little bit. Some people like the AMT kits better because some of the suspension's stamped right into the frame, so you don't have to put it together. Some people prefer ones that are more detailed, you have to put together like Tamiya. I was working on the Silver Vogel earlier today, and that's a Tacome kit, the Sanger Silver Vogel, the what if German orbital bomber, suborbital bomber, and I looked at it and I was like, the fuselage went together wonderfully. I am very impressed. I made some Lufthansa decals for it. Let me grab a picture to show you real quick. I was like, this is a great kit. I am very impressed. And I was prepared to give it all these glowing endorsements. And let me see real quick. Grab a picture here. Here we go. Okay.
There you go, Steve. Lots of comments for you.
I see it.
And I was like, this is awesome. I'm really loving it. And I was prepared. I was ready to give it like this 5-star evaluation. And you guys, when you see it, you'll see all the heat tempering I did over the engine area and everything. I'm really trying to make something special out of this. And then I had to put the wings on it. And they have these itty bitty little nubs that didn't even fit in there because where you made it with the fuselage blocked the way. And I was like, how can you make a kit this good and then make something as basic as the wing attachments a complete nightmare? And I was like, wow, that was unexpected. And so the kit is a combination of really good and really, you've got to be kidding me.
What is this a kit of?
So the Sanger Silbervogel.
It was a fictitious semi-orbital, like missile rocket plane they were going to use to bomb New York.
A German scientist, German scientist named Sanger, Eugene Sanger, had proposed to the Third Reich a suborbital rocket plane. And it had a huge set of rockets behind it that pushed it off the ramp and got it up, and then the engines would fire and it would go. Now, it was a proto space shuttle, suborbital. You know, it was the idea was it would fly from Germany around, over Asia up in suborbital, come over New York, drop the bomb, and then glide back into Germany. That was the idea. Okay, I'm making it as an airliner, but the Silbervogel was way ahead of the technology of the day. Even if the war hadn't been going on and there were no embargoes on Germany, the materials needed just didn't exist. But the concept was solid. And Tacome makes this kit, which is a pretty big kit, by the way. I've always had a love affair with this thing just because, and you can see the way I weathered the nose and everything, and I wanted it to look like a beaten working vehicle. But although this actual airframe would probably not have been successful for a litany of engineering reasons, it was the idea of a space shuttle before there was one. So this is how far this was thought up in the 40s during the war.
And I think it was supposed to skip through the, the sky to give it more length without rocketry.
Oh, that makes sense. That sounds completely plausible.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do a video on this in a couple of weeks once I finished it and got my, but I've, and by the way, there's like 36 grams of lead weight in the nose to get it to sit on its nose. They actually tell you, I give them credit. And then in the instructions, they actually have a thing that shows a block and it says add 30 grams of weight. I put in 30 grams, but I had it strung out and it didn't quite, so I had to add another 6 grams, or 20 grams anyway. But
grams or ounces?
Grams. They have it measured in grams. But it should sit on its nose without any problems. So there's a ton of lead weights in the nose. But I got to put the landing gear and the tail on it, add a few decals, and clear coat it, and pretty much be done. But I'm planning to do a video on it in a couple of weeks. And I want to turn into an airliner because everybody does as a military aircraft. I just thought I'd just do something different. I made the decal on the side. I figured, well, over the wing, it probably wouldn't burn off. So, but that's it. So cool vehicle, cool what if could have been. There, guys, they're now down to brass tacks. There will not be a live stream next week. I have things going on that are going to keep me away from that. the fact we may not have one for 2 weeks, but I'll do one as soon as I'm able. We talked about having Ken do one in my absence, but I don't know, Ken. Yeah, I think
Trust me.
Hmm?
He didn't trust me.
it's the thing is that your sign-in won't work unless I give it second factor authentication, and I may not be able to do that. So that you remember when we had the trouble last week, and I'll tell you guys in a couple of weeks what's going on. I got back injuries and everything else. I got stuff going on, so I'm going to be involved, preoccupied for a couple of weeks, and but I do have a series of videos that I've been putting together that will be released, so there will be daily videos, and put a lot of work into this. So thumbs up and subscribe. God, please tell me I didn't just do that. I make it a point never to ask people to subscribe.
Cough syrup's kicking in as he takes another drink.
And people are like, why do you add water and eat the ice? I'm like, yeah, I pay for that alcohol. I'm not letting any of it go away.
Chaos and C says, Max, you can let me host. I can't do worse.
I don't know if that's true or just hurtful. Come on, guys, let's face it. I have, as Schindler said, panache.
Talk about a tangent.
But anyway, so I might do a live stream on Wednesday night, possibly, just for kicks and giggles. Sometimes I'm working in the shed and I think about just flipping the camera on the live stream and my build work. But I'm like, if you guys saw me romping around in the Tarbis, in my shorts without a shirt on, I mean, I'd probably get my YouTube channel taken down.
Garfield says, Max, what about your clone? He could do the live stream.
I put him down. He went bad. But feral clones have to be put down. What else we got, guys?
I gotta ask, what was wrong with the clone?
He started asking questions he shouldn't have asked.
Oh,
Can't have that.
Time. Okay.
Where am I from? Who are my parents? Okay, time to go outside.
What's the meaning of life? Why am I here?
Ask me a question I don't have an answer for, and you make the list.
It's Tom Fox. He said, thanks for the visual.
Yeah, you didn't ask, but you got it anyway. Steve, before we go, what's going on in your world that we would like to know about? Any big modeling news that you can share?
No, there's going to be some additional releases from Atlantis over the next 2 weeks. They're going to do Rich Jarasco's Duster Funny Car, which was the old Ed McCullough Revolution or Rebellion, and there's going to be another round of monster scenes coming out a little later. They took Tom Daniels' Rod Roller and they dressed it up for the 250th anniversary with Stars and Stripes decals, so it'll be a limited run.
Okay.
So there's a couple of things coming out that will.
They're releasing the fire truck again too, right?
Yes, they released the fire truck this week, and they're working on next year already. We're having discussions about what to put in the line for next year. So a lot of things coming.
I know that Paul Adams in New Zealand had told me that apparently when the C Lab was made by Aurora, it didn't do well, which was it was an expensive mold.
Yeah. And they were supposed to do an Aquanaut, which was a scuba diver, which was a follow-up kit, and they went as far as to make the prototype, and then the C Lab did so bad that they just canceled.
Yeah, well, apparently they were considering doing a moon-based version of it, which I don't think ever actually came to fruition.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was done that never actually saw the light of day after the prototyping stage from a variety of. That's a whole interesting another topic.
Yeah, and Paul, I'm sending you an email. I didn't dawn on me. I've never. I was wondering why I haven't had Paul on here, and apparently I never asked him because I'm
Oh, there you
blind.
go.
And I am going to rectify that next month because Paul is a fountain of knowledge. And in fact, depending on how things go, we might see if he wants to be a regular or something because he's got an encyclopedic knowledge of a lot of this stuff.
Oh, and guys, a word of warning. I did a show the other night, and you got to be real careful about some of these people who come to these shows because regardless of how many signs you put there and say, please don't touch, they just have this childlike ability to, oh, look at this. Let's pick it up.
What was the story on that?
This guy just walked up to the table, and I had a bunch of kids on it. I had about 15 kids.
These are built. These are built.
Built. Yeah, built. And he picks it up and shows it to us. Look at this one. And I said, excuse me. I said, these aren't to be handled. Could you please, there's signs here. I said, don't pick it up. Would you please put it down? And he got like really snitty with me, and I was like, excuse me. I said, I've asked you very nicely to please put it back down. They're not to be handled. They're not to be picked up. And he said, well, what are you going to do if I don't put it down? And I said,
we can stop there. I remember your response. It was an adult response that got the message across.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Steve's from New York.
Let's just put it this way. My comment was not the exact words, but it was, you'll never play the piano again. Okay.
The people who do that clearly do not build models. They're just people who, because no one who builds models, I shouldn't say that. That's probably not true, but you would think anyone that goes to trouble to build models would know that you don't handle how delicate they are, and you just don't handle other people's stuff like that. Plus, there's signs right there that say "do not touch."
Yes, there's signs that say "please do not touch."
Well, as the great Southern philosopher Ron White said, you can't fix stupid.
It's true.
Lance Rebell says some people shouldn't go to model shows.
Some people shouldn't be allowed out of the house.
Yeah.
I just read the comments, okay? I don't make them up. Steve pulls out his dirty, hairy piece.
I didn't need my dirty, hairy piece. But yes, the guy would have been called Lefty if he didn't put it down.
But, oh, well.
Did you get his attention?
Very quickly. No, I didn't. I went to a show to support a friend of mine who runs a classic car show at this community center, and he asks me to bring my models because he brings a lot of die cast. So it wasn't like I was bringing them there to compete. I was just bringing them there to show my friend out. And
makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Gary Parker's got some requests.
What's that?
Please bring back the garbage truck, beer wagon, Baja Bug, etc.
There you go.
The Baja van. The problem is that I'm not sure all those molds they have.
I thought somebody was remaking the
garbage truck.
Yeah, I thought someone was making the garbage truck.
Somebody is making it. What they did was they got an old kit and they scanned the pieces, which is a new technology. If you have an old kit, you can scan the pieces and it cuts a mold.
That's
so
amazing.
Really, there are no old kits that really can't be done again because you can make a new mold.
Quite frankly, they can be done better if you want, because once you get the scan, you can fix any imperfections.
Yep. Oh, I picked up an original issue Ravel Ed Roth Mysterian the other day at a thrift store. And
That's
it was the original issue one.
every once in a while you stumble onto that old treasure find.
I was stunned. And my long-suffering wife said to me, "You really want it? I'll give it to you for Father's Day." I was like, "That's great." I said, "Unfortunately, I had to have the kid to get it, but okay." But thanks.
Oh, okay. All righty. Well, guys, it's after 9 o'clock. I guess that's a wrap. Another wonderful live stream. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you've had some too. And Steve, Ken, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Paul, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I haven't invited you on yet, so we definitely have to get you on. And Trey, congratulations on the big retirement.
Retirement. Hey, is Paul from Australia or New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Okay.
And Kiwi. And I went to New Zealand for vacation, God, 25 years ago. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, you can't find a nicer bunch of people than the Kiwis. That was long before I even started this channel. But, okay, guys. Well, that's a wrap. Like I say, there probably won't, I might do one Wednesday night. But if not, we'll see in a couple of weeks. There won't be one for the next couple of Saturdays. Could be one the following Sunday, but we'll see how it goes. But I do have some videos I've already made that I'm going to put up, so there'll be some stuff on the channel. I want to thank
For those of us who can't go more than a day without your videos.
Well, once an addiction begins. But one of the first off, I do that because I know a lot of folks, God bless them, do enjoy the content, and I'm happy to provide it. But also, if you disappear from YouTube for a while, they start ratcheting you down and everything. It's a bizarre algorithm. But so I want to thank everybody for coming out, guys. This channel, I'm just grateful some folks are enjoying it. This is what makes it worthwhile. People are having a little bit of fun. So Steve and Ken, let's say adioses, and then I'll let everybody go.
Good night, guys. Thanks for coming, and we hope you had as much fun as we did. And remember, next week is Count Those Tangents.
We won't be here next week, so it'll be a couple of weeks from now.
That's why they can start counting now.
Give it a head start.
Take care, guys. See you in a couple of weeks, and stay safe out there and enjoy the beginning of summer.
KLSC says the world is ending. No Saturday night show.
It's not ending. It's just on a hiatus.
And that means you guys will have to spend Saturday night with your wives.
Now I feel guilty.
Or kids. Thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate you. It wouldn't be the same without all the comments. Many of them are really good. I'm sorry I can't get to all of them. I try. Unfortunately, somebody keeps talking and it makes it very difficult to get in otherwise. But hey, that's part of the charm. Good night, guys.
Guys, take care of yourselves as always. Model on.
Flicker on the screen, it's a late night show. A spaceman lands where a strange wind blows. The black and white feels like home to me. A time machine through the static I see. Driving nights with the stars above. Old tin speakers and a young man's love. Popcorn dreams in a two-tone car. Youth felt endless under every star. Now I'm here with the glow in my eyes. The channel changes, but the heroes are still young, but I have aged. Yet I still love planets made of paper mache. Driving nights with the stars above, old tin speakers and a young man's love. Popcorn dreams in a two-tone car. Youth felt endless under every star. The reel keeps spinning, but the years are gone. The spaceman fades, but the dream lives on. Late night TV in a quiet room, but my heart still dances to the same old tune. Ooh. The clock ticks loud as the credits roll, but these memories light up my soul. A middle-aged man with a younger heart. I can't wait for the next flick to start. The clock ticks loud as the credits roll, but these memories light up my soul. A middle-aged man with a younger heart. I can't wait for the next flick to start.
Down at the picture show lot, your shadow hit the screen. A lizard king with laser eyes and foam rub silver sheen. The kids all held their popcorn tight when your roar split the rain. You kissed the sky, then burned the town and made it live again. Oh, we dressed up scared, but we came right kids with sticky hands and bug-eyed grins. You were the dark and rubber boots and all our dinosaur dreams. Giant movie monsters run through my head. Giant movie monsters wait there. Giant movie monsters, sweet and mean. You stole the screen and you made me scream. Giant movie monsters, stay with me. Giant movie monsters, set me free. He said, so anyway, the thing is that he's 3 stories deep in high school band. You ask him how his weekend went, he's explaining ancient Roman ceiling fans. One sip of coffee, suddenly we're ranking every kind of cheese. We just wanted movie time, now we're somewhere in the 90s on TV. Captain Tangent, off again, started with the weather, now we're talking about space pens. Captain Tangent, spin that thread. We were on the freeway, now we're in his cousin's shed. He goes left, he goes right. He forgets what started this ride. Captain Tangent, that's our friend. Circle to the middle, never finds the end. You say, can you pass a song? He's like, song, that's wild. Cause I once knew a guy named Hal. Next thing, it's a road trip tale. Flat tire, first crush, roadside motel. He's drawing diagrams on a napkin just to prove a tiny point. By the time he finally lands, we forgot why we even joined. Captain Tangent, off again. Started with a question, now we're rating every band's best spin. Captain Tangent, spin that thread. We were in the kitchen, now we're somewhere by a surf shed. He goes left, he goes right. He zigzags through his own mind. Captain Tangent, that's our friend. Circle to the middle, never finds the end. But when you're stuck in your same old day, he can talk you miles away. From a text gone wrong to a song to a snack. You forget what hurt, you forget looking back. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Captain Tangent, off again. Started with you, okay, now we're laughing about old trends. Captain Tangent, spin that thread. We were feeling heavy, now we're light as jokes, he said. He goes left, he goes right. Brains like fireworks at night. Captain Tangent, that's our friend. Hope he never, ever finds where the story ends. It feels in the land. Hit the open bottle of paint again. Colors flying into the wind. Landed on the model I just did. Why can't I remember the lid? I'm a klutz, that's for sure. But somehow I endure. Build models, build models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure. But somehow I endure. Build models, build models. I'm a klutz, that's for sure. But somehow I endure. Building models.